Hi, welcome back to Deeper Conversations with me, your
Yes.
host, Matthew Silvers. I have today with me Nova Luxurious, which is the
Yes.
most incredible fucking name in the fucking world.
Thank you. It's a whole
Um,
story behind it.
oh, I love that. Maybe you could tell, is it pretty quick? Do you want to tell it
I
real
can
fast?
I can give you the brief rundown.
Give it
So
to me.
basically, in college, me and my friend, shout out to my friend Tia, hey girl, we we had these hippie names, and hers was like Moon, and mine was Nova. And then by that time, I was coming into my gay, and so we were all just gay kids together. So I was like, "Ooh, let's start a house," and we came up with the house name, the House of Luxurious. And so there you go,
Period.
Nova Luxurious. And so
Period.
when I got into music and my podcasting, I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
the name I'm going to use.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we're here under interesting circumstances today.
Yes.
I well, I guess it's a weird story to tell, especially because it happened like a few hours ago.
Yes. Yes.
I saw this video and it was this kid, apologies because I don't know his name. Um, and he was talking about like white twinks, um, and just saying stuff about white twinks, I guess. And I stitched the video and I just said like, hey, like there's no need for divide. Like if you would
Yes.
like to use my platform, if you'd like to be on my podcast, like these are the conversations that I'd love to have. Um, and I took the video down within like 30 minutes to an hour because I was getting a lot of trolls. I don't know if I would say
Yes.
haters. Like I
The the
don't.
the
Well,
TikTok trolls are they're
they could be
there.
aggressive, and I just like any other day
Yeah.
I'd been fine, but today I just am insecure. I just like can't handle it, and like that's my own mental health, and I got to take care of that first. Um, but uh, the guy ended up making another video about like him making a petition to move white twinks, and we'll get into it. But my original video got like 500 views in the first like 30 minutes. I was like, there's no way that this is the video that's going to blow up. Like, I don't want it to. Like, I can't
Right.
handle it today. Like, all of these people are just like saying bad shit. And like, none of them are trying to further the conversation. None of them are constructive criticism. It's all just hate. It's all negativity. And I don't need it. I don't want it. And it's disrespectful. So I was like, I'm going to take the video down. And of course, I like put two videos up in replace of it. And I was getting, oh, so you're deleting comments. Oh, so you're deleting the video. And I was like, I did it because I also did it because like two or three people, the only like constructive people were like, this isn't it. Like something else. I can't precisely remember. But I was like, I'm gonna listen to these people who were telling me like, no, like I'm gonna take the video down. And I like part of me like is glad that I did, and the other part of me regrets it only because I was just doing another podcast with somebody else, and he said something that I typically say, but I needed to be reminded of, is I typically keep up things that like I may or may regret, because if it's something that I regret, at least I can come back to it and see the tangible evidence and remind myself, hey, like let's not do that again. And like let's be a better person and whatnot. Um, but I do also want to say like the video was under good intentions. I literally just like made the video because I was like, and there was none of me that was like, he has 12,000 followers. I have like 28, but there was nothing like I have more followers than you, et cetera, et cetera. It literally was like, hey, I recognize that I am a white person. This video, like your thoughts could be really helpful, really like whatever. Like these are the conversations I like to have. If you'd like to come on my podcast, like I would enjoy it because I want to have more of these conversations because they need to be heard. Um, and on that topic of that person, it's not a person I want to associate with. It is not a person I want to be around because it's very negative rhetoric. I'm not saying things about white twinks. I think there is like those are the people that we need to be kind of spewing towards, not just white twinks, but like just white, gay, muscular men in general. whether that be like the extreme of muscular or the extreme of skinny, like that little general area. Like, I'm not saying anything that like he was wrong. I'm just saying the way he talked about it, the way he went about it, was wrong. And I'm not saying I was wrong. That's the reason I took the video down too. And like, anyways, so. And
Well,
Nova made
I'll
some videos. Nova made two
yes.
videos about me, but like, I don't take offense to it. I'm
No,
like
I
I'm gonna
mean,
educate, I'm gonna learn and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, I really was hoping you didn't take the video down, and my point was not to necessarily offend you, but I definitely wanted to challenge. I was like, challenge, you don't want to tap me in. I like having these discussions because like
these are
if
my favorite discussions to fucking
yeah,
have. Yeah.
if we're gonna build as a community, then we need to have an understanding, like just as from a human to human level, as people that share a certain experience, we have to have like some kind of common ground, common respect, and understanding of where everybody's coming from.
No.
And you know what we find, well, for me, it's like what I find is like a lot of white gays, whether it be twink, bear, otter, whatever, um, they say they want to have the conversation, but then when the conversation starts to happen, then it turns into like this whole ring around the rosy. I don't want to be associated with anything bad and whiteness and gay, and it shouldn't
It's
be
like,
about
okay,
race.
yeah, like you can't get defensive because of it. Like
Yeah,
number one, second of all, like for white people who are gay, like unless you're stepping in one of the 72 countries where it's illegal, your whiteness comes first. Like just
right.
recognize the easy things first and like don't get defensive or
Yeah,
offensive and just like these are good conversations to have because you teach me something and like I get to learn and then whatever I get to take that on and bring it into my personal life into other conversations with other people on like podcasts and things like that. But like yeah,
yes,
these are super important conversations to have and like people the
yes.
first sign of like it being bad they're like gotta go, they gotta leave.
Yeah, and that's what's frustrating, I think, for a lot of, I can't speak for every black gay person, but I can speak for me. I'm a black gay person. For me, as a
Yeah,
black gay person, it's frustrating for me because it's like, but y'all keep saying we community, but like the community is trying to have a discussion. Y'all don't want to have a discussion.
you gotta add
And
your voices, like come
yeah,
on.
yeah, and telling us that it's not about race when clearly things in our community are happening to us and it pertains to race. It's like it's frustrating. That's the only thing I can think of. It's just very frustrating, and so
Yeah.
a lot of us are clearly, honestly, out of fucks when it comes to as far as the delivery of the message. I know that was your gripe with was actually he's my mutual, or they. I think their pronouns are they them,
Are
but
they?
I think so. I
Okay.
don't,
I
I
probably
gotta,
should have just used it in general because you
yeah.
never know. Yeah.
But but at this point, the message, how it's delivered, is just how it's going to be delivered. The point is being made is that we, as members of this community, are not happy. We do not like the bullshit that is going on. And, it's time out for trying to protect everybody's sensibilities. It's time, it's like at this point, people are dying. Our trans sisters are dying. You know, we as Black people, just regardless of sexuality, we're just getting picked off by races. Trump put everybody on notice.
Yeah.
You know, like this Trump support shit. Like you see how everybody galvanized for that. It's like, baby, even if you don't care anything about me, like, honey, like we got to put our differences aside because look what these people are doing.
It's well, and that's the thing for me. Like, okay, so like from that standpoint, I'm like, we recognize that a gay person recognizes, the queer community recognizes that we are the baddest bitches.
Yes.
So if we are bad bitches alone, and because like you said, like like just for example, like white people and white cops are killing Black people
Yes.
everywhere, fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
why isn't that we can't be bad bitches? Come to the we could come together as a community to be the baddest bitches, to be not racist, to not be like obviously hope well, there's a lot of internalized homophobia, but like, you know, not homophobic, whatever. Like come together, be the baddest bitches and like help the other like minority communities out. Like I don't it just like it boggles my mind the negativity and shit that goes around and like I
Because
think
I mean, what I think for me is like, I feel like people, like white people especially, they know, even even the white people that claim that they don't know, you know the power you hold as a white person, regardless of how gay you are, how not gay you are, how straight, you know, just on the base level of being white, you know the power you hold and the currency you
yes,
hold in society, period. And so when we're talking about breaking down all of this shit when it comes to racism and things, you know, you're realizing, I think a lot of white people realize like, okay, I'm gonna have to give up some shit and I'm gonna have to step back on some shit. And some people are just not willing to give up that level of power and privilege.
yeah.
And nobody wants to admit that. And that's what's the most frustrating is like, but y'all be talking this good game and y'all are not those people and you don't care about race and you love everybody. Okay, well, if you love me, fight for me a little harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I think
that's
it's like if you
yeah,
step back, like I think white people, some I don't want to generalize, but like some white
yeah.
people, I think they're scared of taking the step back to amplify people of color's voices because they think that's going to affect them somehow. Like it's going to get back to them. They're not going to get the promotion. They're not going to be able
I
to be
mean,
the number one. Like that's just not.
and in some cases, it very well is that. In some towns, in some
Maybe,
places,
but like, wouldn't you
yeah,
rather be a good human being? Because what at the end of the day, when you are dead, is going to make the most importance? Amplifying that black voice or getting your promotion for no reason? Like,
right.
it,
You know,
it all comes
I
down to being a good person. And there's just not enough people in this world right now that are being good human beings. And I don't
no, not at
know where
all.
it started wrong. I don't know when we're going back up because the planet really is just a downward incline right now and it's just not doing okay. And like, and I know,
No,
and like, it just, it's sound like I know saying this, like, I just, it doesn't do anything, but like, I just wish, I just wish racism was gone. Like, I don't,
don't we all?
it frustrates me. And it's not like I
Especially
learned,
me.
it's the people who are like, oh, I learned about racism today. Like, I just want it to be gone. Like, I'm not that one. Like, I'm not that kind of
Yeah,
person, but like, cause I've known about it and like, I still like combat it, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and it's just, yeah, it's just like, it's just, because it's so wild to me because I'm white and I want racism to be over, and I literally cannot imagine what it feels like to be a person of color. Like that is, I would, yeah, it's crazy to me, and then it's crazy to me to think like other white people don't think like me. Like, why are there people out there? Why do people like? Why are people so racist? Like I don't understand. Like I can't comprehend because it's like put yourself in their shoes. And I'm like, I literally can't. I can't. And I don't know if it's because I'm gay and like I am technically a minority in a case, but like, girl, I ain't gonna hate on anyone unless you hate
and
on
you
other people
know,
because that's morally wrong. Like if you're fucking Republican and you're homophobic and you are racist, like obviously. But like,
well, in an ideal world, it would be a simple answer, but it's just, you know, shit is complex. And even with, you know, some white gays who are racist, it's like it doesn't make sense
yeah,
because here you are, you know, screaming to be heard and to be accepted, and you want equity in this society, but you know, you're exerting your privilege over another marginalized group, and you know you're doing it, and you know it makes you feel better about your stance in society, I guess. You know, I guess that's how some, I can't speak for the girls that do it, but that's the observation I get. You know, that's how
yeah,
I look at it.
yeah,
So it's complex. I mean, I just think, it's important for other white gays and just white people in general. If you say you don't, you're not about that racist shit, you need, it's your responsibility to call it out, because I could call it out all day, but people don't really care what I say because it's like, oh girl, you just making it up. Oh girl,
Yeah.
but when
I
you
get you.
say it, it
Well,
means
yeah.
something.
Well, it's hard for I do like, and so I have a question for you because I want to I want to talk about that because I think it's so fucking interesting. Okay, so would you prefer a white person to do nothing about racism, or like obviously an ideal situation like a white person's gonna like combat racism every day, et cetera, et cetera. Would you rather a white person not do something about racism, or the things that they do about racism are performative?
Well, if it's all just a stunt in the show, then don't do anything. But
Yeah,
if you are
but
really,
from an outside, but like what their
yeah,
intention was good. No,
well, I
no,
mean,
like it's not a like I'm saying like, so what about the other way, like a performative activism, but the intention is good. It's not a stunt, but for some other people they think it's performative activism.
I mean,
Just
I
well,
don't
so
know. Cause
then
see, that's kind of tricky because it's like, because
because
the way
yeah,
I'm thinking like, well, then at some point it will be proven that it was performative, but it's
okay,
no way to
yeah.
really tell in the moment,
I guess that's true. Well, because so
Yeah.
here's my thing is like, so I never know when I'm a like, so for me, like I said,
Hmm.
I haven't spoken to my family in a year. Part of the reason is because they're racist. Obviously, another part of the reason is because they don't accept me and they're homophobic. But like a huge part is that they're racist. And I don't want
Yes.
to associate with them. And I called them out
Yes.
on a public platform, in person. So, but like, so I don't know if that, yeah, I don't know if that, am I like, I don't want it to seem like you're educating me either. Like I don't want that either. Like I feel like I'm stepping on eggshells like when this comes up, but like I'm okay. Like I'm okay with doing it just because like I want to be correct and whatever, or corrected if it's wrong. But like, is that like? And I'm not going around bragging, being like, yeah, I am that bitch. But like, if someone's like, you're not calling people out, like, is it okay if I go, well, I called my parents out, like, and
I
then
mean,
I called my entire family out. I just don't know because like that feels, I don't know, because that feels a little bit performative to me. But then if I'm not talking about it, does it exist? And like, do I think we need more people talking about them calling their people out?
it could be viewed either way, honestly. Like it's one of those, like I said, it's how people interpret it. For me personally, you should call your family out if they're, especially if you
Oh, for
want,
sure.
yeah, if you want them, to be better, if you want to challenge how they think, you should call your parents out. Because what if you do have friends of different colors and you want to bring them around your family, that's, or anything, like what if a sibling decides, okay, well, I met so and so, they're from, I don't know, any country that's brown, and we're married, and you got some brown grandkids. What you gonna do, granddaddy? What you gonna do? What you gonna do,
Yeah.
grandma? You're about to be
Yeah.
grandparents to some brown children. What you gonna do? And for so it's, I don't see anything wrong with the person. You should call your people. I call my family out on things too. I'm starting to do that myself, just on how
Yeah.
they think.
Yeah. I think that's
So
so important. I think that's like one way because like I think that that part stops the learned
yeah,
behavior of racism. And
yeah,
like that's a huge part is like
yeah.
part of me does believe a lot of racism will die when the older generation dies. The other part of me knows that racism is a learned behavior and that we have to teach
Yeah, you got to do
to
some
call each
unlearning
other
and some.
out. We have to put in schools like a different curriculum because obviously that shit ain't working. Um,
No.
and all of that. So and like for me, someone who's like, I want like, and a lot of other people who are like, I want racism to end today. We all, a lot of us obviously recognize that that's just not going to happen. but we need to start doing the shit that will do that. And we're just not doing enough of it. I think we see um, some of it, but not enough of it. And I also
Yeah.
think, like, listen, this is where like I become not humble. You can look through my profile on TikTok. Not Instagram's just me taking photos, but like you can hear me talk about it on my Instagram story, on my TikTok. I never stopped talking about BLM. I never stopped talking about like the protests and like the people dying and you know all of that shit. I never stopped. Um,
Yeah.
and like you probably don't see it as often because I'm not doing it as constant, but I didn't stop just because like it was trending at the time and like I wanted it to be trendy, I wanted it to be fad. The reason I started last year during BLM was because genuinely that was the first time I recognized it. That was the
Yeah.
time that I was like Ahmaud Arbery's death was the death that really like pushed me to change my views, to change my values. Because up until his death, which seems like it should have been a lot before that, I was still Republican, conservative, Christian, like I was all that shit. And so like
Yeah.
when that happened, like that's when my brain turned on. That's when I started educating myself. And that's when I started having these moments where I was like, I gotta get on this. I started when it was trendy, but I didn't stop because I wanted it to be a trend. I didn't, it's not. And so like, and I have these conversations in private. I have these conversations on TikTok, like I said. And it's just like all of these people who do it because it's a trend. I just don't well, I can't say I just don't understand. I do. I understand it, but it's so disgusting. It's so gruesome. Like we need to start talking about it. We need to be like, anytime there's a death in the Black community, a Black TikToker is on the game. Like somebody is posting about it.
Yes.
And that video typically can do pretty well. Um, that video should be a bunch of white people just duetting and saying absolutely nothing and just like amplifying that voice. And there's just not enough of that, or like, it's just annoying. I don't know where this conversation is going. I
No.
just like
See,
at this point I'm just so fucking frustrated and like,
yeah. See,
and
for me, it's too much of that going on. It's like everybody's using that as a talking point, and it's starting to become empty because that aside, when we start really getting down to issues and pointing fingers, and that's when I think people start feeling like it's a personal attack, and it's not a personal attack. It's just us as marginalized groups telling our experiences in this very white centered, oh shoot, sorry,
you're him,
white centered world. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's like this world caters to white people and lets us know very well, especially Black people, lets us know very well, like this shit ain't really for you, girl, but you can walk around, I guess. Don't touch anything though.
yeah,
It's very that for us in society. And so,
uh-huh,
you know, it's like we need to like stop. I think white people as a collective, when engaging in these conversations, have to remember that this is not, I'm not saying that you yourself went down somewhere and called somebody the N-word or whatever the fuck. I'm just simply saying, like, as a people group, as the way this society works and how it prioritizes different people groups, your people group is very much favored and prioritized in a way that is detrimental to everybody else who's not you.
yeah,
And that is,
yeah.
and
Which I think that's a yeah, yeah. And I
yeah,
think that's like a huge thing is like, and it's specifically like on TikTok, obviously, because it's like such fast information.
yes,
Everyone gets so fucking offended.
yes,
If it is not saying your name, it's not about you. And if you think it's
yes,
about you, then it's fucking about you. And you need to deal with that. Like you need to
yes,
educate yourself. I've had some videos from some Black creators where my first instinct was to like like that. I
Yeah.
took a second back. I said, why does this make me mad? And I said, I clearly don't have the knowledge in my brain to understand why that reaction was like that. I did the education. I learned. I came back to the TikTok. I realized what they were saying and I moved on. Um, and it's just so hard to be like, every white person should be doing that because some white people who are the people who have the most means to fucking resources and education literally do not take the time to do it
At all. At
at
all.
all. Like not even a
But
single thing. And I just like I heard the thing about like some white people still don't know who Marsha P. Johnson is. My
they
dad didn't know who
don't.
that was. And I was like, it really is. My dad was alive when Marsha P. Johnson was alive.
And
Like,
he doesn't know.
and
See
I
in
said,
there?
did you? He was, I think he was like 7 or 10. I said, and you
Wow.
didn't. I asked him about it too. I said, do you know about Stonewall? He was like, what's that?
Yeah.
I said,
Well,
that shit's absolutely crazy. And the fact that, like, and to be like, on my point, I don't like, as BLM was happening last year, that's when I first learned about Marsha P. Johnson. But at least I did the education. At least I took the time. And now I know more about Stonewall than I know more about being gay, than anything.
yeah.
I know, and because of that, now I know more about BLM and the racism that's obviously outside, but also within inside the community. Um, but when he said, I was like, how do you just not know? Oh goodness, hello.
Things
uh,
happen.
hey, I was like, how do you not know? It was really
Well, it's just because white people don't have to worry about that. That is not something
no.
you literally have to worry about. Like you
And
walk
yeah,
outside your house and you good. If you, especially like you as a masculine presenting cisgendered man, as
yeah,
all as they say, that's a
yeah.
mouthful, child.
You got so many alphabets.
Yes.
You got
I
so
mean, I
many
get it though.
words
I
to
get it.
say.
Words mean things, and we gotta get it down to the fine print. So I'm just hoping that the girls can come up with some ways that we can shorten this to because it's a lot. But but
Can we
yeah,
just
it's
say
like
these assholes out here? That works.
but yes, you being a cisgendered male,
Yep.
nobody knows you're gay until you open your mouth or until you do
Yeah.
something or move. But if you just
Yeah.
stand there, you just look like a regular dude, you know.
Yeah.
So um and then that way, and then that's another way where even like for me, I mean, I'm a black man, but I'm a masculine presenting man. I have privilege in that way. Like I can stand in a room amongst men and drop my voice a little bit and I'll be all right in certain circles. In certain circles, I could be deemed extra aggressive if I drop my voice. But
Yeah.
that's the intersection of being black.
Do you think, yeah, do you think when somebody, when, do you think that when a white person is combating racism every day, in some form or thinking about it or doing more research, et cetera, do you think that that person is going to start feeling frustrated as
I would,
well?
I mean, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
But, imagine how the person that you are advocating for
Because
feels.
like I'm fucking frustrated, but like
Yeah,
I don't want to like if that's like because that's just a feeling. I get that. But I
yeah.
also like, you know,
And it's
yeah,
not to invalidate your feelings because feelings are valid.
yeah,
But once again, like if you're just frustrated advocating for me, imagine how I feel being
exactly.
like I am
Exactly.
stressed the fuck out.
And I cry about it. And I don't want to be like some like this white savior, white complex or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But like I cry about that shit because I do think about that. And I'm like, God, I'm so frustrated doing this research every day, like advocating and like, but I'm not saying I hate it because like I love it. And like that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to combat. And so, but I'm so frustrated by it because in my mind, like it shouldn't be prevalent, shouldn't exist. The majority shouldn't be racist. Um, but then I think about that and I get so upset and I start crying because I'm like, God damn. Like, I don't wake up every morning, at least, like I do it and I'm frustrated because like it's hard, arduous work. It's fucking
Yes.
annoying. It shouldn't exist. But like, I'm not waking up and I'm like, I'm gonna die because of it. Like, and that shit's like, and it's like because I've done, the amount of shit that's been going down, like Black people specifically can't do anything. Anything.
No.
Wendy's drive-through, jogging, sitting in their own homes,
Shopping, taking shits. I mean, I've
anything.
seen it all at this point,
And
and
I do this thing like I I go shit every day.
yes,
I don't think about it. And like to
right.
just and like I don't really think a lot about my own home. I mean, sometimes I get a little nervous because I do live alone. I get a little scared, like an intruder is going to come in. But again, that's because somebody's like a criminal, not because I'm going to die because of the color of my skin. But like, yeah, that shit. I can't. I can't. But I
Well,
would rather imagine myself as a different color, putting myself in those shoes than putting myself in the opposite side shoes, because these are the people that I care about. I don't care, obviously, like these lives, I don't care about their lives. If you're gonna shit on an entire race, a shit on an entire like culture or color, or just because somebody loves somebody that isn't straight, um then
I
like
mean,
it
and
just go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. I really, because
No, I want you to be talking more than I am. I'm like fucking rambling.
okay, because I just feel like, and don't take this the wrong way, but like, I get annoyed when well-meaning white people just want to like, oh, I just want to just not be white and don't. No, please be the white people that I want to see in society. I want to see better people overall.
Oh, I
You
don't. No, no,
know,
no, no. I didn't mean I don't want to be white. I just mean like I don't want to like. Yeah, I'd rather, like I just said, like I don't want to be a different color. I mean,
oh, maybe
yeah.
yeah, maybe I misunderstood that,
No,
but
that's my bad. Yeah, no, I don't
oh
want to be a different color. But I no, but I want to hear this frustration because I totally understand. I've heard people be like, "Oh
yeah,
God, like,
it's
I
just
hate
like,
being white. I
oh
wish I was black." Like
yeah, and it's just like, no, 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 no. I need you to be as white
you
as
were you
authentically
were
white as you
born,
need to
yeah,
be. Yeah, but just be better. Like I need you to actually be, because I actually saw this white person do this. Like, I don't know if she was a sister or a child or whatever, but one of them hauled off and said the N word, and she whop. And I was like, exactly. Like that's the type of white people I like. Like, bro, don't be out here doing that shit. Like, I need
Here's the
that.
thing is I've never been placed in this specific situation
Yes.
with friends because I don't really have friends at the current moment. Uh,
Yeah.
and I say it like, and I know it's the thing where it's like, oh, you say that, but like I fucking mean it.
Yeah.
And I've put myself in my mind in this. I said, if anybody, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of gay people and a lot of people of color are very much friends. Like you see a lot of white gay men and like straight black women like being the best friends.
Yes.
If that ever happens to me, which I hope it does, because I love my black women. If that ever happens to me
Mm-hmm.
and somebody comes up to them and it says anything out of pocket, like the N word if they're
Yes.
white or some racist, they will be getting slapped. I don't give a shit if they slap me back. Like
Yes, please
slapped,
protect our black
uppercut,
queens.
like I'll get them kicked out of the bar, like or wherever situation we're at, restaurant, whatever the fuck. I can't imagine not doing that.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
mentality as well is
Yes, please
yeah,
protect our black queens.
thousand
And I think
percent. I don't
yes,
understand how, yeah,
especially for these white gays that like, oh, I had an inner black woman in me. No, you don't. But the least you could do is protect your good sis over there if you see something go down.
yeah,
Um, I don't need you to have an inner black woman. I just need you to protect the black woman that you hang out with
yeah.
every
I
day
need
on
you to
your
take
lunch
your white
break.
privilege and slap the shit out
Right.
of that bitch.
Thank
Like,
you. Thank you. That's what I need from you,
yes,
that, and I think
yeah,
that's what black
yeah,
women want. Like they want y'all to stop,
yeah,
imitating them. And, if you say you a friend, be a friend, be an ally, but
yeah,
stop being me and stop making fun of me, please. It's
yeah,
insulting.
yeah.
And even in our own community, we've had to, because you see it on TikTok too. You see like a lot, even people of all color, even black, make fun of black women, and it's like, black women have had to address everybody like, look, this shit ain't funny for us. Like,
You
this is
follow
not.
TV Lizzie on TikTok?
I think so.
I don't know.
I go on a following spree, so I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sure I
you
follow a
do.
little bit
But
of
no, she's fucking
everybody.
incredible. Or actually, again, I need to be using just they them. Uh, but they're fucking incredible, and I love them. Um, and they talk about that a lot. It's like even from and like, well, I don't really want to speak upon it because it's not really my place, but like black women, just as a basic blanket statement, like black women are marginally like oppressed the most because even in that community, black men are doing and saying shit to the black women of the community, which is really like, yeah.
Well, yes, it's a whole thing. It's really a layered thing, and that's a whole nother
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Right.
but
But this was
yes.
just, yeah, like, so within the community, within the queer community, what do you feel like you face the most? If I like, is there one particular thing that stands out, or is there like, you can also like list things because like, and we can go like very
I
like
mean,
simple or very like hardcore into it, but like obviously like fetishization.
it's
Uh,
a lot of things.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, if I have to list out my grievances, I would say obviously it's the race thing, it's body, because I'm a bigger girl. Um, and it's economy. Like, I work a regular 9 to 5. I don't have a sugar daddy. you know,
I know that's right.
I'm not out here stunting because Atlanta is the city of stunts. And a lot of these girls, it's not really giving what you think it's giving. It's rented furniture. If is furniture in that penthouse they taking
Yeah,
pictures in, it's a lot of that going on. It's Airbnb scams, and that's all the gays, not just the black and brown ones. That's all the gays. There's a lot of the girls out here pulling stunts, but
yeah,
those are my grievances. It's just, like, I just feel like gays, we are too judgmental of each other.
I agree.
There's some racial shit that it just shouldn't be there if we're supposed to be a community.
We just need to talk about these things. We need to
Yeah,
get together and like, this is gonna sound stupid as fuck. And well, I mean, it's basically fucking Fire Island. I guess it's Pride Month. Um, but like, we need a gay convention or some shit, like a
I mean,
required gay convention, and get together and like talk about the issues in the community. It's like, this shit is stupid. Nobody out here should be putting on their fucking profile, whether it's Tinder, whether it's Grinder, like no blacks. Like, what the fuck is that?
well, it's all racism, and
It's a requirement, not a preference. Like,
right,
it's
you know, it sucks. I was on Grinder all of 1 week in 2011, and that was it. Like, that was it.
2011.
I kid you not. I remember my phone I had at the time and everything. I had one of those little HTC Androids, and I could
Shut
get
up.
apps, and I was feeling myself, and I was like, I'm gonna get on Grinder.
I didn't even know
And
that was made that long ago.
yeah, Grinder's been out for a minute. Like, it's literally a smooth decade and some change now. Like, Grinder has been out here in these streets, and yeah, that week was enough. I think I did it on Saturday, and by the following Friday, I deleted that shit because I was like, oh no, I've been called the N word way too many times on this one little bitty app.
Oh, I
I
can't.
think I told the story about that on my
Wait.
TikTok that got reported, but how one girl was like, oh no, girl, I don't do, N words. And so I was like, oh girl, I recognize your face. You be at Blake's a lot. I'm gonna be there Friday night. Yup. See you there. And I just happened to actually see her there. And she got spooked and ran out in the street and got clipped by a car and broke her leg.
Oh my god.
That's what she deserves. But yeah, I really wasn't gonna do nothing to her. I just want to see what she do, because I was like, I know your
Oh,
face. I see you all the time, and since you gonna say that, I want to see if you say it to me.
Oh shit. Yeah.
What?
Oh my God.
So,
But like,
but
yeah. The
yeah,
like
the
preferences
it's
thing, like
crazy.
shut up. Like learn that it's not a preference. Learn that you're just fucking racist. Like, and but like here's the thing is like again, I say this with like a grain of salt. Like, I don't want to ever say anything where it feels like you can't grow. If you're
Yeah.
someone that puts no blacks on their profile in 2021,
Yes. Ooh,
you're a piece of shit right now. But there's
yeah.
time, there's space to for you to grow. Get off of Grinder, take a break,
You know the gays don't want to do that.
go educate yourself and
They
learn.
don't.
I
They don't
don't
want to.
think
That
there's
is the conversation.
I don't
Grinding.
think
It's not for y'all. Just get off. I just
yeah,
really.
there's a
That's really
headspace you
it.
need to be in to be on that app.
You really
And it's
do.
not that. It's
And I
not
knew
that
I
one.
was not. I was never
Not
gonna. I was like, no. This
not it.
is.
Yeah.
This is no. My mental health is more important than that. I'll find other ways to get what I need to get at the times that I need to get it.
Yeah.
So, and it won't be on Grinder, and it hasn't. I've worked, and I've living proof I am fine. But no, it's just, and then I think the most privileged of us just have to remember that we have to use our privilege to speak for those who aren't so privileged, and that
Yes.
includes our trans sisters, specifically our black ones and our brown ones, but all of them, of course, our non-binary folk, our lesbians, everybody. We have to
Yep.
be more responsible and,
Yes.
you know, be
Mm,
more proactive in speaking up, or not necessarily speaking for them because they can speak for themselves, but helping to amplify their voices.
yeah.
So, and not run away when the conversations are being had,
Hard or
however,
had or hard or
yeah, however triggering they may be. It's
yeah.
just
They're not
okay.
specifically talking about you. They're
Yes.
not. And most of the time, hence
Yeah.
this conversation right here, I don't even know you.
Right.
So, like, why
Literally.
the fuck would you be like, yeah, it's about you? Like,
And it's
it's not. Also, that's not even just like a defensive mechanism. That's a narcissistic shit. Get
it
get over
is,
yourself. It's not about you. It's not about you.
well,
Uh
unfortunately, people, I think the reason why people get so triggered is because it probably is about them, as the old folks say, hit
because they
dog
feel
for a
it.
holler. Yeah, it's like, you probably have done something or did something or not spoken up
When
when you
you
were wrong.
when you watch a black when you watch a person of color talk about something and you think that it's about you, your
Yeah,
reaction should be to feel frustrated because you're like, God damn it, they have to talk about this again.
yeah,
Not wow, like fuck, they got to talk about this again. Like shut up, like not that. Like it is as simple as like to be quite frank, it is as simple a racist to change their mindset and be just like change their mind. And I'm not saying I was ever racist, but like I definitely had some shit in me that I needed
yeah. I was
to.
about to say, you said your parents were racist,
My
so
parents are
you
racist.
might
I
have.
learned shit. I
Yeah,
remember once I was pointing to somebody on a like a trolley, and my mom like slapped. That was like the one good thing she did. She slapped me. She was like, "You can't point at people." Um, and like there, I said one thing at a Cracker Barrel once. I literally remember the times that I
wow,
was
and it's Cracker Barrel.
definitely racist. I I don't believe I've ever said the N word because that just like I would. Oh, you know what? I think I said it once on that trolley, but I didn't realize because I was like 5 or something like that, and I had never really heard the word. And like kids repeat words, that was me. Um, but so, but I don't want to count the times I was shit, but like, but I did. Yeah, I said some shit in a Cracker Barrel, and that was the end of that was the other end of it. I was like, what the fuck did I just say? That's bad. Um, And I was like, yeah, what the fuck? But and then it takes that and you just like it's all on the internet. It is all on the internet. You know, you
Mhm.
can research racism, you can research what you can do, you can research you know, charities if you want to go as far as donating or and then you can get into the queer community and the intersectionality between the two. Um it's just simply, I mean, drink every time I say it's not that hard, but it's not that hard.
I mean, and if you don't have the time or the energy or the capacity, you simply could just call it out when you see it.
Yes.
At base level. Hey, that's not right, ma'am. Don't do that. That's racist. We're not those people. And you could have, you don't know. Sometimes you could have just all it took. You could have just changed the whole vibe of the situation, but you was over there being quiet, and all that good privilege went unused.
Yeah.
And that, and it's like it's
If
really
you hate
simple.
having the privilege, use it.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
that's the best way you can
yeah,
control your privilege is by using it in the best ways.
yeah.
Call out
You
the
really don't
shit, slap a bitch, like
that
fucking
be outraged on their behalf, raise hell on their behalf.
yeah.
Make sure you don't overspeak or overtalk people, but definitely be like, if you see they got it on the reading the management, you just yeah, what she said, anything. Just don't be complacent in the bullshit. And that is literally it.
Yeah.
And when you see black people not doing anything illegal, don't call the police on us and shit.
Silence is violence.
Yeah.
But
Like
but
it's
yeah, that's crazy too. Is like I think one of the craziest, weirdest like things people need to unlearn is that like stop automatically seeing someone that is a different shade than you and being like, that's a bad person.
right. It's suspicious. What are they doing?
They're
It's like,
suspicious.
no,
Like,
just
what the fuck?
keep
Like
walking,
that bitch is
Brenda.
walking their
Right.
corgi. Like that bitch is
Right.
watching their corgi, and you're like, this is dangerous. Like, no, they're walking their dog.
Like, leave them alone.
Like, it's just not that
Simple.
hard to mind your own business.
And that is it. But
And
people don't
also,
want to hear that.
criminals will be caught. Like everything, like I mean, this I think it's a Bible quote, so gross, but like everything under the sun will come out. And so like karma's a bitch. You don't need to do that yourself. Just let it happen. You know? So like, you know. And to be quite frank, that bitch who's calling the cops on a black person probably is more suspicious. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
And thank God nobody has ever done that to me. I just, I'm
amen.
normally not a violent person, but
Yeah.
my reaction is I'm grabbing your phone and it's getting tossed. I just just be on notice. And I'm quick with my hands.
I want to
So
be in a
before
position that I'm allowed to do that. Like I'm not
yes,
gonna lie. Like I feel powerful as fuck right now. I feel it all in me. I'm like, God damn, the things that I would do if somebody said some shit to somebody that was next to me.
yes.
Ah, you don't want to
Right.
be next. Oh my God.
It's like I'm just
Yeah.
I just like thank God it's not me because I your phone is getting destroyed. You won't like you won't get
Oh my
past
God.
9. I'm sorry, and I'm not actually, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just crazy. Like, just that, don't do that.
Yeah.
And the girl who had that whole meltdown in Victoria's Secret, it's like,
Oh my God. I saw that TikTok.
yes,
That was insane. She
and
literally screeched. She didn't scream, she screeched. Like this bitch was so loud. She's like, stay away from me. She
yes,
wasn't even within 6 feet of this bitch. Like
and and I know why everybody was outraged at her. I was outraged at everybody standing around letting it
around, just
happen.
sitting there, standing like you can't do
And that is
nothing.
because that leads to our point about, see, this was a time where, as an ally,
Stop
somebody said,
freezing. Stop
yes,
taking videos. say something,
and stop
do
taking up for
something.
the white lady. It's like,
I
honey.
would have kicked that. I would have kicked the white lady out so bad. I said, "Bitch, get out of my store."
Right. It's like you gotta go doing all that. You just
Because
gotta
then that
go.
other
I'm
white
sorry.
woman that was like the only worker that was in the fucking video, the white woman, like came
Yeah.
up and then just like she walked like right in front of the camera and just stopped and said shit. She said nothing. And I was like, get your shit together. Get
Yeah.
your
It was
shit
like,
together.
they took old girl's side and she was doing all that, and that is what
I
people
was
are
like, this
talking
girl
about.
is peacefully being like, I'm not even close to her. I didn't touch her. And this other girl's
Yes.
screeching in your store. Like
I
she's
enjoyed her
being
having a
white
good
and a
laugh
noise
and
disturbance.
everything.
Double homicide. Like get
Right.
out of the fucking
And
store.
you know, there. Get
Yeah.
out of the store, get the
Yeah.
fuck out. But
Yeah.
they didn't do that. They took up for her,
Yep.
and the police acted like old girl was irrational. So I mean, I just can't take her out of the store. I was just like, are you serious, police officer, Mr. Officer Man? You can't escort this woman out the mall for acting a
That is
complete
your
asshole.
motherfucking job. That is your motherfucking job.
I've seen you do it all the time.
That's what I'm
You're
saying. Like
always threatening somebody.
cops love to decide what their job responsibilities are and
Right.
when or where.
Yes. And that is why I can't do cops. I'm
I
sorry.
don't
I don't back the blue.
I
Fuck
don't yeah,
you.
why oh my god. I'll tell you what, cops genuinely scare me. People are like, you're white. I'm
Understandable.
like, I bounce back when I see a cop.
Yes.
Cause
They
like I'll
definitely.
make myself get in trouble because I'm gonna be throwing some hands for some other people that aren't me. Like I am genuine and I've been pulled over more times than I should admit. And like that shit scares the fuck out of me. Like I don't no. I don't do cops.
I
Defund the
don't.
police, re-fucking train them if you really want cops. Like you should have 2 years of school if you want to be a cop. You should yeah.
Yeah. Don't come from the military either. I'm sorry. Those girls went to war. No. No.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
They went to
yeah,
war, so we're not
yeah,
gonna do that. I
yeah.
don't. I don't understand why like they think that's okay.
It's just
And
yeah.
background checks. It's like it's way
Sim-
too many of these cops
Simple
that are coming
solution.
up being affiliated with racist groups and
But like I got
people
my GED. Let's be a
like
cop. Like you don't get to be a cop because you got your GED.
like
Like
people are
I'm
doing
not saying anything bad
simple.
about GEDs, but I am saying shit about like cops not having enough education, not having proper training, like not getting proper background checks. And the thing is,
Yeah,
like, no offense to, well, actually, very much offense to these dumbasses. We just listed a bunch of solutions that are literally the smartest and the correct solutions. Why the fuck is it not happening?
because you know the cops have really benefited off of one, definitely what's the word I'm looking for when you exploiting the labor and the poor white people, basically. Like,
Yeah.
you want to be a part of this American dream, you can be a cop and you can do these things and you can bust up the real bad guys, the
Yeah.
black and the brown people, and you'll be accepted into the society. Like, it's all like I watched the whole documentary on like how like the cops and like all that. Like, apparently LAPD, like during like the first wave of riots in the 60s, they recruited a lot of good old boys from down south to come to LA and be cops, like Klan boys, and to come and bust people up. So it's like
Oh,
there's like a line of a whole like legacy of cops and races and that whole being like intertwined, and it's a whole thing. I mean, the FBI proves that there are like a lot of police officers have white supremacist ties, and I think there's an understanding
yeah.
in law enforcement that they don't want to talk about, but I think that understanding is that y'all are really here to keep certain people in line, and
Yeah.
that is the number one priority. Hence why you see all these Black people becoming hashtags. It's very obvious. Like if you really,
Yeah.
if people say they read like they say they read, it's really like Legos. You just connect it and proop, 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 it
Yeah.
comes, the truth comes right on up.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
To be quite frank,
Not to
like
sound
that's
like a conspiracy theorist, but it's just the tea.
yeah, no, and that's funny because I mean, just speaking of the truth, like that's why I kind of like social media. I mean, there's a lot of bad things in social media. There's a lot of good things
Yeah.
in social media, but I think one of the great things about social media now, specifically with TikTok, is like these motherfuckers are blatantly coming on to social media onto TikTok and saying the most racist shit. Their
Yeah.
names on their page, their Instagrams attached, like I love Aunt Karen on
Hmm.
TikTok. The
Oh
bitch that
yes.
she goes after a racist every fucking day. It's great. It's
Yes,
so
I
blatant.
love
It's
it.
so blunt. And it's like now these people are getting what they deserve. They're being taken down. And now it's scary to be racist. Girl, it should have been
Yeah, it
because you
really
should
should
be
have.
losing your fucking job.
Yes. There was a time when it was, and like I said, I think it started after 9/11 when racists started getting riled up and then Trump just sent it on home. There was a nice little sweet spot between like the, I want to say like the mid to late 80s and the 90s where white people was just like, we not really, I mean, like there was racism still, but there was an understanding that we were not really trying to go in that direction. We are in this new, but then shit
Yeah.
got twisted. Like 9/11 happened, and I think it scared some white people. That is my theory. And they went right back to
Yeah.
the old way. And then Trump just sent it on home. And I was like, well, yeah.
That shit that set the shit on fire. Jesus.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, if you didn't know now, oh shit, I keep doing this. And uh there we go. If you didn't know now, then you definitely know now with these Trump supporters.
Yeah.
It, it's like, yeah, it was a lot. I'm still gagged just seeing it unfold from the first, the first whatever the fuck that was, and when he
I
said
ain't gonna lie.
Mexicans were a bunch of thieves and everybody cheered, and I was like, oh, they're going for it. I was like,
This shit is so funny. I sat back like I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I said, "Ooh, we get to keep up with the racists now." Okay.
yeah,
I was like, "Let's do this."
it was
You
really
got with like some
wild to
popcorn and
me.
wine and be like, "This is my new shit." Like, okay.
And then it got scary because I was like, oh, they're really going for it. Like they really, okay, people are really believe it. Like, wow. So
Yeah.
it's no time to like, and I think with racism, I think also with white people, not to, but
Yeah.
I think you know, like y'all, I think like come at it at a debating kind of thing. Like this is something to debate, this is something to discuss. And it's like at this point, it's beyond a
No.
debate and a discussion. This is really,
Morals and equality is
yes.
not a debate. It is not up on
Yeah.
the chopping block, bitch. Like it
And
is,
it frustrates me.
and it
It's like,
is
no,
the other
girl,
thing
it's
that
not a,
frustrates the other thing that frustrates me is the fact that like you're just a different color.
yeah.
That is a difference between you and me. Like we're just different colors and like I mean obviously there's a lot more to it, but like down to the base level it's just the fact that like you see a different shade. That is all. Like when did it become like when did you know when
I mean, since the beginning.
of
I
time?
mean,
Yeah, like kings and queens
yeah,
are all white fucking yeah.
when I don't know, I guess
Yeah.
when shit got established that this was how it was going to be
You
amongst the
just would
world
have thought
powers,
like
if you will.
yeah, you just would have thought like somewhere in the
They
20th, 21st century, they would have been like, this seems shady. Like we took
mm,
them, like some people back then took them as well, I guess it was the time of slaves. They were like, we took them as slaves. Maybe we should just like stop. Like maybe
mm-mm.
not. Like maybe do your own fucking work. Like how like what?
Yeah, no. And then they got all the money, and then
They
And
got
it's
all the
like, okay,
money. They got all the fucking jobs.
all the
They got all
benefits,
the
everything.
housing. They got all of the like. What the fuck?
And I guess, you know, white society decided, well, girl, we've gone this far and we don't, it's too late to try to reverse it. What do
Yeah. They
let's
act
just,
like they're like, yeah, we redline that shit. And then some people are like, redlining doesn't exist anymore. Look at a fucking map of Chicago and tell me redlining doesn't exist. And tell me that they can't unwrite that shit. Like literally, like take a pen and just instead of just like lines on the entire map, just draw a circle. This is Chicago. This is where the people of Chicago will live. Like, what? Like it's
yeah,
just
it's every, like, once again, if we're reading like we say we're reading, it's all connected. Like
everything.
everything is connected, and it's all designed the way it's supposed to be designed, and it's been
Yeah.
working
Listen,
the way it's been
maybe
working for you.
listen, hear me out. Hear me fucking out. Are you a Marvel bitch?
I am.
Okay. Fucking okay. So I saw this video on TikTok that said like every 250 years there's an empire that falls.
Hmm.
And 250 years passes next year in
And the
20
shit's been
in,
crumbling.
in 2022. Shit's already crumbling. Hear me fucking out. Fucking WandaVision, Falcon and the what is it called? Falcon and the
Winter Soldier, or as I
yeah.
like to call it,
No, wait, is that the movie? What's the TV show? Captain
Fal-
America.
no, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki. All talk about like deep topics, emotional topics, like branching into new
Race.
timelines, shit like that, like breaking the empire of the TVA. What if, listen, that shit comes out what, like March 15th of next year? I swear to God, if our empire, quote unquote, our empire, if like capitalism and shit falls on the same day that fucking movie comes out, and fucking done. Like that, like I'm calling it. Something big's gonna happen on that day. Something big's gonna happen next year. And I just like I don't know, but like genuinely, like it still like was a little bit of a trend, but I do think BLM last year really did stick more than any other time that it has. And maybe that's not true, but I don't know, just genuinely it feels like it a little bit. Um, it's stuck, and we're stuck talking about it, and like we're not. For someone like me, I'm not done talking about it. I'm going to continue talking about it. Like we're getting somewhere. Don't know where, but it's like you
Oh
said,
yeah,
it's
it's
crumbling. It's
happening.
going down. It's happening. When, how we fix it, fucking don't know, but it's happening.
Yes. All I know is
The resurgence is
if right, if the rich folks abandon
that.
properties, I'm taking over the nicest loft I could find.
Okay.
And that's that.
That's it.
Like
I mean, Jeff Bezos has
hunkering
what, like
down.
10 homes in this country alone? Like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. Just make it a whole compound. You get the west wing, I get the east.
Okay.
You know, she'll get the north, they'll get the south. It's
Hell
a whole
yeah.
thing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And
You
then we could
know,
start our own empire of really loving, fierce ass, boss ass bitches.
and there you go.
And we can call it,
Boss Bitchlandia.
I was thinking of play on word of capitalism, but I was like,
Yeah.
funnalism or some stupid ass shit. I'm dead. I'm
No, it
dead.
needs to have a fun name. It has to be a fun name because
I know. I'm trying to bad bitch Landia. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I'm
right.
trying to think. Wait, fuck. What's a good name? What's a good name for like a powerful uh I don't know.
Honestly, if we let the gays have it, we can just name each city after our favorite divas
Oh
and
shit.
call it a day.
Yeah. I'd be like, you want to go to Madonna Land? Okay, bitch.
Right.
Like
Oh no, I'm spending the night at
Cherville?
Whitney.
Okay.
I'm at Whitney's tonight. I'm sorry, I'm in Whitney County.
Oh, I'm sad.
On
I'm
Houston's
sad.
Lane, I'm staying over there.
Listen, I'm saying we got to get our shit together.
Oh, I agree.
once we get that shit together, Britney Spears can be free because that bitch is like, ooh, that
Yes.
bitch Landia,
Free
she'll have an
Britney.
entire hemisphere. Like,
Yes. Brittany Jean. I pray for Brittany Jean. I love the fact that she is finally letting the girls
she is
have
getting
it.
it. That's why I'm saying, listen, the day Britney Spears is free is the day capitalism falls.
Right. Jamie Lynn, bitch.
Honestly,
Count
oh,
your
she's gonna remember,
days.
bitch. Fucking Britney
Count your
Spears, I could
motherfucking
definitely see
days.
being like the Katniss Everdeen of the resurgence. Like she might be the leader of the war or whatever goes on. Do you
Perhaps.
ever
She
think
could
we?
be
Do you
the
think we'd
leader of
have a?
one unit.
Do you think? Do you think we'd have another civil war?
Honestly, I thought that, but the one thing that whole insurrection taught me was that that side's not ready. They were having heart attacks and strokes on the wall. I was like, girl, well,
Honestly, I don't think either of the sides could get their shit together. The fuck?
I feel like there are more on people on like I guess the right side of history, if you will, that we still have some military. It's a lot of black folks that went to the military. It's a lot of brown people that and people who are more aligned with liberal, like we
Yeah.
was in the
But the other
military
thing is,
right
like, what
along with them.
fucking land are we fighting on? The last civil war we fucking fought, we basically just like fought on grass. We don't got not a lot of that left.
True. I
We
mean,
Vermont's made of
Mississippi.
75% trees. West
Mississippi.
Virginia, maybe.
I mean, any of those places
Just go
where,
to a place nobody gives a shit about.
yeah, and
West
just tell
Virginia's
the
good.
clear the folks out. Here,
Yeah.
girl, here's some FEMA checks. Go now. Because we about to tear this shit up.
You get one
And you don't
bag.
want to come back. So let's just go ahead and
I'm dead. Like we will give you a plot of land in Antarctica if that is where you prefer to go to live alone. We will give you your
yes,
isolation.
name
Good.
a spot. We'll just write a blank check for it, and you just tell us. Like that's what we should do, especially, and just have war on that bitch. But I don't think the right is ready. Like I really don't. The girls, like I
Nah,
said,
they'd have to. They'd sit for a while, like just thinking about like, ooh, girl, what are we gonna like make? What kind of arts and crafts are we gonna do? Like to get to
mm-hmm.
someone got to hold a baton in the front, a flag in the back.
Yeah, somebody's got to have the "Don't tread on me" sign
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Someone's got to hold like a "Don't walk on me" grass
Yes.
sign.
And see, and that's where a lot of these pick me gays and these coons, that's where y'all gonna get played. Cause honey, y'all about to be on the front line, and you know what
They're
they
like, you
say.
said you wanted to be picked, didn't
Yes,
you, bitch? Here you go.
get on that front line.
I probably volunteer as tribute, bitch. Listen, I don't know what's in me. I think it's because like part of me is annoyed by the world. I want racism to end. I want everyone to just be loving. I want homophobia to end. I'm gay. Like all of that mixed together. Like I fucking, I went through the trauma with my family and other shit. Like I got this fighting shit in me. I wanna punch something. I,
Well, listen, I support it. I want to be on the cyber side
that's
of things.
okay.
I want to be one of those girls who
You
like,
can take the
girl,
videos of me punching a bitch.
yes, like we're gonna get good footage of her punching people, but
Be like, good
also
job, get it, girl.
we're we're gonna hack into these rich people's accounts. Let me not say that too loud. I don't want the FBI thinking I'm out here being a
Do you
cyber
think if we had
terrorist.
another civil war, I'm dead. Do you think if we had another civil war, both sides would play with guns?
Um,
Because I thought
the
about
right,
that. I feel like the right
yeah,
would bring pitchforks.
they definitely will bring guns. Those girls are gun nuts.
Yeah, that's true. What would we bring?
it's a
Our
lot of guns.
fans.
Like I said, well, no, I'm a country boy, so
Oh shit. Oh
guns.
shit.
I mean, I'm not a stranger to them,
I get
so
nervous around guns.
I don't like them. I don't own one,
Yeah, I
but
don't either. Oh
I
my
know how
god.
to
I don't
use
think I ever
one.
would. Oh.
I definitely know how to use one.
I'll tell you what. Give me a fucking bow and arrow. Give me a
That
fucking nice.
actually,
I will throw a knife at a bitch.
see, the girls sleep on the bow and arrow. That's how you really get a bitch. Listen, it's nothing like somebody just mind their business.
They're like,
That is
damn,
it.
you want a gunshot to your head? I'm like, bitch, imagine an arrow right through your mouth.
Right. You
That
didn't even
shit
see
ain't
it coming.
stopping.
Right. You didn't even see that shit coming. Oh, that is it.
They'd be like, ugh. They'd be,
Yes.
ow, oh my God.
No.
I'm dying to watch Hunger Games again. But no, I'm serious. I think the bow and arrow, I agree, is so
Yeah.
underrated.
That definitely would be in my
Yeah.
repertoire.
I would
And
have,
a good
listen, I'd have a bow and
explosive.
arrow, and right on my side, I'd have like a little pack of shurikens. Is that what they're called?
Mm.
A bitch is getting bitch. I'll tell you what I'm good at. You know what white people are good at?
Yes.
White people sports. Frisbee.
Yes.
Give every
Get
white person a shuriken. They'll know how to throw that thing. They
yes.
got it. They
There
got
you
it.
go. Just bend, use the wrist and release.
Flick of the wrist, bitch. Flick of the wrist. Throw it.
Right.
Oh my
Yes.
God. This is getting
Yes.
wildly like off track. But yeah, you heard it
No,
here,
that's
folks. We might be having a civil war with bow and arrows and don't
I'm just
tread.
saying. You
Don't tread
you come
lightly.
with your gun, you'll be shot by the time you get to that trigger. If I
That's what
get good at
I'm
that bow and
saying.
arrow.
I'm gay. My hands move faster than a straight person, bitch.
Yeah, true. The gays do have quick hands, I will say.
Yes, we
I'm
do.
I'm quick with mine. Ah,
I am
and I am not
too.
ashamed of
Yeah,
it.
depending on the situation, but
Yes.
um,
Right. Well, yeah, that
mm,
too.
mm,
We're not gonna
uh,
get into that, but
that's a sex podcast episode coming soon.
yes, yes.
Is there anything before we go that you would like to plug yourself?
Yes. Well, I'm a part of this little girl group of sorts called the Good Time Girls.
Oh,
We
nice.
just released a single called Understand Me. So if anybody wants to check that out, we're on all of the platforms. It's really cute. It's a bop. That's all I got on that. And then you can also listen to my podcast at Nova Thoughts, NOVATHAWTS. And yeah.
Well, thank you. Oh my God, I had a lot of fun. And
Same,
like
same.
it's not that hard to be a good person. It's
No.
not, listen, if you're listening to this on some device, you got a device. Fucking use
Hmm.
it, educate yourself, not that difficult. Um, and call the people out around you as long as it doesn't harm you, obviously. But yeah, call that shit out. I love you guys. I'll have more podcasts out soon. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I love you. Like I said, see you next time.